Good morning. This is Ray with another segment of God's Creations, sharing some flowers and shrubs that grow in my garden. You're looking at a Jerusalem thorn, also called a Palo Verde, jelly bean tree, or horse bean tree. Its correct name is Parkinsonia aculeata. It's in the pea family. It's native to southwestern United States and all the way down to South America. It's a very colorful tree. It attracts bees, usually this early in the morning. It may be too cool. This is middle of May here in South Georgia, and it's at 52 degrees, so it may be a little bit too cool for the bees to be out this morning, but they're normally covering this tree. It's a very airy growing small shrub tree, covered in these gorgeous yellow flowers several times a year for me here in South Georgia. You see the leaves are very, just the leaf itself is gorgeous. I'm going to get up close to show you what flower blooms look like up close. You see also in this shot here, you see the little bean pods from last year haven't fallen off yet. They're all viable. In fact, this can become, and I imagine has become, invasive in certain places. These fall off and do. I have a number of small ones around. I shared them with other people and given a bunch of seeds away over the years. I call it Jerusalem thorn, and that's one of its names, but the word Jerusalem does not refer to the city in Israel, but to a word, a Spanish and Portuguese word that's been corrupted, that means turning toward the sun. Of course, being native to Southwest U.S. and Mexico, it can thrive in dry climates. In fact, some of the sites that I looked up, the tree said that when it gets extremely dry, oftentimes the leaves will fall off. And then all the chlorophyll that is normally in the leaves transfers to the branches, and they turn extremely green. Now, I've always noticed that the new branches that come on, at least from the trunk, are extremely green anyway, and then they turn brown as they age. But I thought that was a unique thing that they turn green when the leaves fall off. And then when it gets wet again, the tree will bloom more profusely and set seeds more rapidly, and therefore God's way of propagating this tree in harsh climates that it grows in. Also, something I found very interesting as I was looking at some sites is that it's a long-lasting tree. It can live up to 150 years. Now, I've had this one about 15, and it does well here because it gets plenty of water because it's very close to the house sewer system. And I have other ones that are not this big, but they do well, and they're in a drier place and don't get all the water. Something else I want to share with you this morning that's growing in my garden, and I'm going to do a little bit of moving here, is Shasta daisies. I'm going to turn the camera totally up in the sky till I move. Shasta daisies, Leucanthia mum. This particular daisy is native to Europe. It has also been cultivated, and there's a number of hybrids out there made from crossing several of these together. This one I think is called Becky. I'm not exactly sure. At one time I thought maybe it was Alaska, but I think this may be Becky. Most of the sites say that the Rebecchias reseed themselves, but that is not the case with this one. I've had this one 15 to 20 years. It never reseeds, but something I thought was always unusual about it, the stems, once the flowers bloom, then often the stems themselves will put on little nodules and will put out little roots. And if you rake those stems off pretty low to the ground and stick them in the ground, they will root quite easily, and you can multiply your clump of Shasta daisies that way. At one time I had a different variety. You couldn't tell that by the flowers, but you could tell it by the leaves. If you look at these leaves, ooh, that got too dark. These leaves are pretty even. They're long, narrow. But the one I had before, same type of flower, the leaves were cut leaves. They were jagged leaves. And I had that one for several years, and then I lost it. But this one remains with me, and I've scattered it in quite a number of places. And this year I brought a lot of them together here in a bed that I call my white bed. So just about everything in this bed are white flowers, and the Shasta does quite well in this place. I don't think this particular Shasta daisy is like the ones that grow along many roadways throughout the U.S. They are reseeders, and they come up on their own, and if the road people don't cut them down, they will reseed and come back year after year after year. This one, like I said, never reseeds for me. And Psalms 121, verses 1 and 2, in the Message version says, I look up to the mountains. Does my strength come from the mountains? No, my strength comes from God, who made the heavens, the earth, and the mountains. Where does our strength come from? We as humans think it comes from power. We think it comes from money, wealth. We think it comes from our position in society. And yet, in reality, the psalmist is correct. Our strength comes from God, not the mountains, not the earth, but the God who made the mountains and the earth and the flowers and the trees and we as human beings. Lest we get so distracted by the things around us and the things we're trying to do, remember, our strength comes from God. May God bless you and have a great day.